Sup guys, Trash Toku here. Let's talk about Fuuto PI, episode 9. We start the episode with the discovery that the true user of the alcohol memory is Kyu's grandma, actual alcohol dopant. Is it the grandma? It's probably the grandma. It is the grandma probably. To Kyu's shock. Actually, she also recognizes Philip as Ryube's son, because the Sonozaki family used to come over to their village for archaeological digs, and that makes her connected to museum. She tells them that she has been using this memory for quite a long time to keep their family from hitting rock bottom. And the reason for all 4 candidates to use the memory is because she knows she doesn't have that much time to live. So whoever seems the most compatible would be Kyu's wife and continue her mission. Shotaro tries to stop her from using the memory, but she pushes Shotaro away. She explains to them that she is a high dopant, the same type as the mosquito dopant from the video game arc. She transforms so as Philip and Shotaro. They start fighting her, but they discover that she's too powerful. So Philip calls out the Xetreme memory and they transform into Kamen Rider W Xetreme, and oh my god, that transformation was so fucking cool. I can't believe that we're seeing that. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about that slightly later. They dodge one of her attacks and they block another with the Xetreme beaker. They use the prism memory and inserting it into the prism sword. They use one of Philip's Gaia memory and 3 out of Shotaro's Gaia memory, and they use the maximum drive to expose her memory that's inside of her body. And then they use the Xetreme maximum drive to rider kick her. After she gets defeated, the memory breaks and suddenly the residents start to catch on fire. She tells them that she planned all of this out with her butler if she would ever get defeated. She tells Kyu that now it is time to find his place in this world without his family's money. She pushes Tokime and Kiryu to the outside of the residence, but luckily W gets to catch them with the power of the Luda memory. We actually get to see the continuation of the fight between Kamen Rider Axel and the Scream dopant. We get slight little glimpses of her personality being kind of lol, like crazy, loving Axel's powers and showing him selfies of herself, and behind her there is probably a dead body. When Axel kicks her to the air, the Brachiosaurus dopant shows up and catches her. On top of him is Bonda. He reveals himself as the Aurora dopant. Before disappearing, he thanks both Double and Axel for showcasing their ultimate power. In the agency, Philip explains to Shotaro how he got the reception back. He improvised a signal booster device and he attached it to the Fang memory and he told it to go to the edge of the town. Philip sensed that the communication failure wasn't due to the weather but to a jamming device because the power was already on. Kyu asks Shotaro who's responsible for all of this. Shotaro answers that is Bonda. Ryu adds up that his grandmother used to work with someone that arranged the girls when she understood that she doesn't have that much time left, and it worked well with Bando's research over the high dopant. So when the butler picked up all 4 girls and put them to sleep, the grandma installed the alcohol slots. And with the grandma being a high dopant, she compelled their subconscious to use the memory, and when they did, they lose control and try to kill each other, and when someone isn't compatible with it, they just die from using it. Shotaro asks Kana why did she came to participate in the matchmaking setup, because she isn't greedy like the other girls. She tells him that her entire life was dedicated to her work, and when she started notice that she's getting older with no hobbies or interests, she wanted to do something different and discover new things about herself, but she's dealt with the worst cards ever because this is the first thing she ever tried out. Namba tells her to come over to her bar and maybe she would meet someone. Kyu thanks Shotaro and he promises him to pay for their work with his money that he will earn by himself. Shotaro tries to dismiss it, but Kyu is very headstrong about it. Before Kyu leaves, Shotaro asks him if he wants to grab drinks with him, but Kyu doesn't drink, and Shotaro is extremely surprised about that. Something about Bonda's name intrigue or at least confuse Tomike. She tries to understand where she heard that name before. The episode ends with Bonda and 3 other people in the shadow Fuuto standing on a building looking over the city. Another great episode of Fuuto PI. I am extremely happy to see the extreme memory and that absolute majesty of a design. It was very high on my list to see it and it didn't disappoint. Having the grandma being the Dopan all along, kind of obvious, but I really like the cool little detail about the memory and her connection to museum, and even remembering Philip is kind of cool. Fight scenes were as great as usual, and now I'm actually excited for the last 3 episodes of this season because they are going to be mainly focused on Bonda and his gang. Maybe we're finally going to get this small little connection between him and Tomike. So yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below what you thought about it. See you later.